knowledge. So I have to make decisions on the fly instantly with a lot of dynamics happening all at the same time. I have somebody over here texting me, okay, while I'm trying to do a live show. I have this drama going on over here in my chat room. And then there's another influencer over here who allegedly has gotten removed from my chat, who I have their phone number. They have my number. They can call me. They want to come play over here in the Fearless Floyd show. Call me. Ask for an invitation. I'll send it to you. But instead, the door was kicked in. And I'm going to cover all that in a future episode. So stay tuned. Buffy and I will be putting that project together, and it will be a project because we are going to expose many, many, many things to you folks. That's why I allowed that to happen. I set a trap, and they stepped right into it. And thank you for that. And thank you for being patient. Because remember, I play very high intellectual, psychological games with my opponents. Don't forget that. I didn't survive in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice for 14 years and 2 months with the name Fearless tattooed on my back by not being some type of a badass and gaining respect from my peers and enemies. So don't think for a minute I'm the weakest link. Because if anything, I'm the strongest link. Absolutely. And you don't want my attention. And this is the last time I'm going to address this. And I promise you, I will take this whole platform private. I'll go over to Patreon. I already got an account. I can do that. So only the privileged few can get additional information besides some monetary wealth thing that's supposed to happen. I have guests on here who have a plethora of intelligent experiences, conversations, remarkable circumstances that they would love to share with you folks. And they're going to share them with you folks who want to get shared with. Because those who have ears to hear will hear. Those who have eyes to see will see. The ignorant shall perish for a lack of knowledge. I'm on a curiosity journey. I have been my entire life. That's why I've gotten in so much trouble my entire life, because I want to see what's the end of the road. I want to see what's behind that turn. I want to see what's in the dark. I was that guy. I pushed the limits, pushed the boundaries beyond what they were supposed to be pushed. I survived, and now I'm thriving, and I'm going to continue to thrive because of the divine. This isn't me. I'm just a conduit. And I'm trying to spread as much truth as I can to as many people as I can. And I'm so happy to be able to be in the position that I am right now. I just got off the phone right before I jumped on this video talking to a lady up here that lives just north of me. I could probably walk to her place. 84 years old. 84. Sounded spry as a chicken. But she's in dire straits because of her age, some health issues she went through. And she wasn't asking for a handout. She was just looking for some assistance, some guidance. Hey, Floyd, what can I do? This is what's up. So give me your email. She gave me her email. I sent her a free ebook. She didn't even know it. And she's like, well, I know you need to go, and I know your time's precious and valuable, and, what can I do? And I told her, I said, well, this is what I got for you. So as a belated birthday gift from Fearless Floyd Show and LeFlore, I just sent you an ebook of all the trusts. Now you need to go to the YouTube channel and get on the playlist of LeFlore's 19-part video series, and that will walk you through at your own leisure how to develop a revocable living trust. That's what I did for her. And you know what? When I went upstairs to take a shower to get ready to come down here and do this, you want to know what a gratifying feeling that was? To help somebody who needed help. And I had the ability to give it to them. I didn't even have to take the call. I didn't have to call her back, but I do. I told you I call everybody. I talk to everybody. I want to meet each and every one of you because you all have a story. Some of you have more unique, remarkable, unbelievable, and some would even call wise stories. And I have a bunch of them. And people tell them to me, and I think they're lying. And they're talking about me, something that I did, and I got witnesses. And I was like, okay, if you say I did it, I guess I did it. I don't remember it. And they are unbelievable. Unbelievable. How I'm still alive, how I'm don't have 30 life sentences in prison. Remarkable. It's all I can tell you. I'm here for a reason. So please listen to the message that's coming from the messenger. Okay. And that's all I'm trying to provide is you a platform to hear unique people that you're not going to hear anywhere else. Where are you going to go hear Jeff? You can go hear him on Mark. He'll go be on some other shows. Where are you going to go hear Chief Fast Horse? Where are you going to go hear Noel? I'm fixing to bring on a doctor. Chief's going to get some other doctors. I'm going to have a PhD next Friday. Past life regression, clinical hypnotherapist. She's already said, hey, we'll do a live past life regression on you, Floyd. Oh, okay. And that's when I used to do my Live to 5 show. We never got around to doing that, but we're going to do it. And I want to bring that kind of information to you. I'm curious as all get out, and I want to learn. And I'm going to bring Jeff on here. And Jeff just told me some incredible stories. What a life this guy has lived. If you just heard half of what I heard, you'd be like, what? Yeah. Very unique individual. I'm very humbled and honored to have met Jeff. I actually knew of him before I met him, but is what it is. So I consider him a friend, trustworthy, honorable, hardworking, and courageous. So with that, Jeff, I don't know if you can top that introduction, but
wow, hi, thanks very much. That's
welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome. You deserve it. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I don't know how you know me so well, but you're right on the money.
That's funny.
Yes,
That's funny. Well, so we've had a little time to think and digest everything. Where are we going from here? I know we got Chief in the background, but he's not in the frame. So, yeah, what's going on?
Oh, I haven't heard the Reno news today. I did hear Judy Byington. I've heard a couple of other strategists and political types, geopolitical types, and it seems that they really seem to be insisting on some sort of a nuclear scare. Whether they let one or two go off, I have no idea, but they really do seem to be pushing some sort of a nuclear scare before the whole world says, hey, stop. It's going to take that much. But anyway, that's the hubbub I hear in the global news. The RV news, I hear none, just sort of any minute. Some people are saying any minute. Some people are saying, September. Some people are saying, they're waiting on seeing the election results or whatever. But everybody's got a different opinion. So I don't know. There's not I don't know if we've heard from our friend Queen Elizabeth, chosen whatever today's Elizabeth. Elizabeth Rodriguez Lewis. I don't know if we heard back from her or Wolvie or I don't know. We do have Merlin on standby, I think. If we wanted to touch base with him about any haps in the RV or Reno world, I can ask him real quick if he's
okay.
If he's Compass Memphis here. Go ahead, talk amongst yourself while I try to get him on the line.
Oh, all right. Well, I'll remove you then. And I'm back. For those of you who don't know, I actually just probably just go show you what they look like. Let me go over here. Oh, logos. Yeah, where I'm at. Here I am. Bam. If you haven't seen these, I just ordered these, so I'll have a whole bunch of them. And I also haven't ordered those. I have a whole bunch of these different logos and icons and sayings. There's the white one that is in the store and available now. There it is again. That's for my humanitarian project. This one will also be available. If you purchased Ann LeFlore's On Trust book, you will be receiving a free decal. So look for it in your book. I'll probably send you one of these and Be Fearless. Don't know what color you're going to get, but look for those with your book. They're not bookmarkers, but you could probably use it as a bookmarker if you wanted to, but they are decals. All right, I'm going to bring Jeff back. How you doing, sir?
Hey, sorry I couldn't reach Merlin. It's late his time zone, so probably just missed him.
Okay. Well, he's a magician. I'm sure he disappeared.
In other news, I see the Great Blackout ignites at Black Swan event, overthrows elites, QFS and GESARA activation imminent, prepare for revolutionary change. Deep state funnels billions to manufacture war in Iran and Israel, orchestrated by Obama, the CIA, and the elite globalists. Surprise, surprise, surprise. What else do we have in the news? So, confirmed over 200 CEOs of big corporations vanished overnight as part of Trump's war on corruption escalates. They begin to seize assets and lock people up for anything related to child or human or organ or drug trafficking of any kind. They really crack down on that. So I don't know. We could talk about MedBeds, chemtrails. We could talk about Reno. We could talk about Trump. We could talk about what's on your mind.
Well, do you want to talk about politics? Do you want to talk about your past? Do you want to talk about your future?
Let's talk about chemtrails.
Okay.
I am not prepared to talk about chemtrails, but I know enough about it. But we're talking about when airliners fly overhead and they have, when you look up there and you see them up there 20, 30,000 feet cruising along, you should be able to put your thumb up and they should only have like, a little 1-inch, 2-inch tail. Or up there, it's probably a 30 or 40 foot tail. But down on the ground, you should be able to put your fingers up and just pinch the little white tail that's behind it. And that's steam and unburnt fuel and exhaust, and it dissipates immediately. Okay, it's 90% steam. I'm an aerospace engineer. I'm a propulsion expert, a life student of it, and it's steam. Back in the 60s and 70s, when jet engines first came out, the tree huggers would have gone wild had it not been steam and just dissipated. In fact, that was the big pitch, that jets were so much cleaner that you could see them in the air and they left no residue and didn't have this thick black diesel type smoke. They were super clean burning and hauled a lot of people in the same burn. So to look up in the sky today and to see a white trail that's miles across the sky, that's chemtrails. And they're being it's fine particle aluminum, barium, strontium, all kinds of M's and metals, and that was the original chemtrails. And now they have, I'm hearing that they're putting all kinds of biohazards up there, that they're putting HIV, that they're putting the vax up there, that they're using it to spread the flu. They're testing the flu out on us. They're testing. I hear that Bill Gates is trying to, they've released Bill Gates's mosquitoes that are all genetically predisposed to anybody they bite. They're putting the vaccine in you, and it's so minute. I'm a little surprised, but in any case, he's made genetically modified mosquitoes that are every time you get bit, they're already infected. You get infected with the vax. So chemtrails are another, have been the original, the OG. And they've just made them worse and worse and worse. So my understanding is they're using, Boeing large tankers, and they got all the seats out. They fill them up with tanks and barrels and drums of different nasty stuff, and they're sprayed out the back of the airplane. They're sprayed out the wingtips. They're sprayed out behind the trailing edge of the wings. They have different nozzles, different airplanes all over them. There's about 8 or 9 of them, and they move them around the country. They're specialty pilots. They call them chemtrail pilots. Are like no family, no kids. They're loners, and they move them all around so that they can't get familiar and like feel bad for people on the ground, or get familiar with the other pilots, or that sort of thing. It's to keep them cold. They pay them a fortune. You can go to the greatest website in the whole world is geoengineeringwatch.org. If you doubt what I am saying, if you need clarity on what's in it. Now, I have seen videos of United States federal, military personnel talking about the federal government, and that they've tested soil, they've tested air, they've tested what's coming out of the tailpipe. They put jets up in the air to fly behind these things, and then they land them, and it's like a tar that they scrape off of these other of the trailing airplane. So remember, when you put your fingers in the air and you put up a little 1-inch pinch, a tail of a jet way high in the air should be about 1 or 2 inches on your finger spread. But when you see the white trail and it's running miles, that's chemtrail. And you see how long it lingers. Now, better chemtrails, the later versions of chemtrails, since people have started to point that out, which in the 60s and 70s, they'd have freaked out if the sky looked like a checkerboard. But it didn't at the time, so jets got sold. But they've slowly put this into your subconscious. They've slowly filtered chemtrails into the air since the 70s, and the military-industrial complex spreads them. As Merlin said, so we said, well, why do the chemtrails? Well, they're trying to kill the plant life on the earth, the plankton. That's one approach. Why? Because they produce oxygen, helps lower the oxygen content. The other thing that they accomplish is heavy metals in the brain, and you've seen huge increases of Lou Gehrig's and Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and all the heavy metals related diseases are just off the scale. In the 1970s, it was like 10 in a million. Today, it's like some obscene number of like 30 people per 1,000 are autistic. And that number just through the roof. I mean, it was unheard of before. Now it's just rampant. And that is from chemtrails in a large part. I mean, now granted, the foods we're eating have this aluminum, barium in it. because all this is sprayed on the ground. The plants have it all over it on the ground. The cattle, the chicken, the goats, the beef, the picket, whatever it is eating it all off the ground. Whatever we eat that eats that is eating it off the ground and drinking it out of the water. And guess what? You and I are too. So chemtrails are killing the planet. They have killed over 50% of the plankton. Now, why is this important? Plankton has produced most of the oxygen on the planet. Granted, the rainforest is another big place, which we're deforesting as fast as possible. But the rainforests are another big place. And of course, they don't want us to produce carbon dioxide. Well, shit, carbon dioxide makes everything green and produce more oxygen. So they say it's because we're harming the earth and we're killing it. No, the earth grows with more carbon dioxide. Plants grow faster. They grow better. They put out more oxygen. The earth is greener. Things happen better, faster, more good, not bad. So I don't know what the hell how they've been able to convince us that hey, the trees, the grass, and everything that lives off carbon dioxide, we have to cut that out. We have to cut all the carbon dioxide out, and humans have to die, and cows can't fart. Get bent. Go look at pictures of the coastline on any coastline from 100 years ago, 10 years ago, 50 years ago. It hasn't changed. All the global warming, sea rising, blah, 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 blah. If you put an ice cube in a glass of water, the water goes up to a certain level. The ice cube changes from a solid to a liquid. The water in the glass doesn't go up. Hence, go ahead, melt the polar caps. They're already floating in a bath of water. And when they change from a solid to a liquid, they're not going to displace more water. The water's not going to rise. Now, granted, you might see a little bit, but it's negligible. I mean, it's like saying,
It would actually shrink a little bit because of the oxygen trapped in the ice.
That's probably a good point. But there's a lot of that ice that's on landmass too, so you're going to have a little give and take, but not the BS hysteria that they're saying. Oh, we're all going to drown. Go to hell. It's just bullshit. The mortgage companies wouldn't be giving you mortgages on beachfront property. The prices wouldn't keep going up. The elites like Obama wouldn't be living on Martha's Vineyard 3 feet above sea level if they were all going to drown and die from like a giant chunk of ice broke off of, was it North or South Pole? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Giant chunk of ice the size of Rhode Island. And it was already floating in the water. If it melts, we don't drown. It just changes from a solid to a liquid. The sea level doesn't go up. It's already displaced the amount of sea level water and rose the sea level on your beach as much as it's already gonna. It can melt and just turn into water, but it's not going to push any more water out your way. Right. Go throw an ice cube into a glass and then watch it melt. Put a mark on the glass, a piece of tape or something that it'll, condensation won't run it off. Put a piece of tape on the glass, put the ice cube inside, watch it melt. The water doesn't go up, people. It's a displacement. Anyway, it's all math. Anyhow, math and hysteria. So global warming is absolute and total bullshit. Absolute. And scientists are now coming forward saying, look, we were paid off, under such and such administration. We were being threatened. They were going to pull our funding. Our university was going to lose all our money. And so we told a little white lie. And now we're coming forward by the hundreds and the thousands to say that the inconvenient truth of Al Gore's, that nice little documentary he put together, was all bullshit results that they were paid to put in there. They're coming clean and saying that now. Right. So, I think we need to wake up and say, all right, so mankind, to suggest that man is changing the changing the environment on the globe, the entire globe, is like saying peeing in the deep end of the pool is changing the entire temperature of the pool. It's not. Go in your house and fart. It's not going to change the entire temperature of your house. Mankind is a crumb on the face of the earth, and the more carbon dioxide we produce, the greener everything's going to get, and the more oxygen it produces. So go do your homework. Go do your your physics, your chemistry, and check it all out. Carbon dioxide is good for plants. You know,
That's why they pump it into greenhouses.
they pump it into greenhouses, but big time. If you want to pump carbon dioxide into your greenhouse or your growing area, you don't want it in your bedroom. You take a box of baking soda, Arm & Hammer baking soda. You open it up, dump it into a plastic container, a bowl, whatever you want, and then you put a drip. You get a tube, and you get a gallon bottle of vinegar. You screw on a tube to the top. You turn it upside down like a hamster bottle for water, and you put a little drip, a little pinch, some sort of squeezer, pair of vice grips, or what are those things that dudes smoke weed with, the scissor looking things that pinch it tight, or tubes. They have little roll on things that relax and tighten the pinch on the tube. Anyway, you want to create a drip however you get there, tie damn thing in the knot, I don't give a shit, and let it drip into the baking soda. So vinegar drip into baking soda. Every time it hits, you'll see it go, and a little puff of what would appear initially to be smoke, but it quickly disappears. That's carbon dioxide. So there's your homemade drip if you got a greenhouse or a garage or some sort of closed-in space where you keep it. But don't do it in your bedroom. It's not a good. You don't want to sleep. You want max oxygen in your bedroom when you sleep there.
You want it in your grow room, not your bedroom.
Yeah. Put your grow room, whatever kind of growing you're doing, but it all makes everything greener and grow faster.
Tomatoes. We all grow tomatoes, Jeff.
So chemtrails, horrible, killing the planet. Why are they killing the planet? Why? So, some people say, "Oh, well, it's a, here's multiple stories, multiple bullshit stories."
Hang on before you get into that, because I want to ask you one real quick question. So, even though they have USDA certified organic produce sections, fields that grow organic food that have no cross contamination with other varieties of the same species of plant. I'll just use lettuce, iceberg lettuce for an example. So in the field next door, they have romaine lettuce or unorganic iceberg lettuce. But on this plot, they have organic. So when the chemtrails come over and spray, is your food still organic? I'll digress.
Yeah, it's organic, but it's sucking up barium and aluminum and strontium and all kinds of ums. But go to geoengineeringwatch.org and hang on to your hat. I have movies and testimonies and scientific proof. They have the United States military showing their proof, the United States military whistleblowers. They have a 3-letter agency department whistleblowers. They have picture after picture of it in the air. I would say that the chemtrails that we're seeing today are far more harmful because the Illuminati is in the final throes, death throes. They kind of have a scorched earth policy going, and people like myself have been sick two times this summer. I've never been sick in my entire life in the summertime. A buddy of mine just got over the flu in the summer, and he said the same thing to me. It's just insanity that this would happen in the summer. It just never does. And his kids got sick as well. And that's happening to a lot of people I know. And I'm like, in the summer? And that started in the spring, people getting sick in the spring and in the summer. And here we're coming up on the fall, and there's still people getting sick as if it's the middle of winter. So I think they're in the final throes, and the chemtrail is real dangerous these days. There's also less of it. The more we see of Trump, the less we see of them. They're a little more dangerous also in that not only are they spraying biohazards up there, but they've developed new chemtrail that dissipates a lot more quickly. So you kind of got to watch it, and it turns into like a witch's broom where it spreads out, it starts going sideways. like whiskers off of a stick, but then it all dissipates quickly. You'll notice them. They'll spray it at night, which they didn't used to do. You can't see it. They'll do it real early in the morning, and they'll spray it upwind of large cities so that it floats over. Um, they'll spray it when everybody's down the shore and the beaches are full. They'll spray it upwind so that everybody's laying out there as it, and it goes out to sea. So again, it kills everything in the sea. It kills all the wildlife. It lands on you and me. It goes into the food. It goes into the water. We drink the water. The animals drink the water. We eat the plants that drink the water. We eat the animals that drink the water. The cycle of life. I mean, they've killed about 60%, 50% of the oxygen producing greenery on the planet. So that should begs the question, well, why would they do that? So there's multiple answers to that. And I don't know what the truth is, but I can tell you what some of the very interesting suggestions are if you're ready to hear it.
I want to hear it. Of course.
Sure. Okay. Well, I don't know if you need a break or what. And
no.
They say one guess is that the United States is spraying it to shield the United States from satellite imagery and electronic surveillance from Russia and our foreign adversaries, China. So that's bullshit.
And who alleges this?
I'm sorry.
And who's alleging that? The Pentagon or the government?
Oh God, go to every conspiracy. Well, that's one of the government's excuses, is that's up there as protection for us. Now, early in the 70s and in the 80s, they said, well, it's cloud seeding. We're helping the farmers. we're making these fake clouds to make rain to help the farmers. Oh, okay. And so the euphemism was cloud seeding. It was very nice. Makes you think they're helping us. And of course, that's what they tell you. We're helping you. We're here from the federal government. We're here to help. Keep that in mind. So at any rate, they said it's to shield us from enemy surveillance, electronic, and satellite bullshit. And then they said that, first it was cloud seeding, then it was enemy surveillance. And what was it? The latter was that it was for global warming, that the Earth was getting too hot, and that they had to shield the entire, this is recent, that they had to put a cloud all the way around the planet, Biden said, to shield the sun out. Can you imagine blocking out the sun? Farmers got to love you. Everything producing oxygen, hate you. Again, everything they want to do stops the production of oxygen. So when they say that it's electronic surveillance and satellite surveillance coverage, bullshit. When they say it's for your health, bullshit. When they say it's to cool the earth, bullshit. What they're trying to do, or what it seems to be doing in every case, is destroying oxygen production and getting into mankind. So it drives the medical industry, it shortens your life, it increases Alzheimer's and all the heavy metal diseases. It drives the medical industry that, they collect at all ends. Keep that in mind. So they like us sick. They like us short-lived. Old people are expensive. They like killing them off. That's why they vaxxed all them and stuck them all on incubators as they passed away. But at any rate, they like us short-lived. They want their batteries young and strong and healthy, and then as soon as you stop producing, they want you going. So that's a depopulation agenda. It lends itself well to depopulation, whether you believe in Bill Gates saying he wants to depopulate, or Virgin Air, what's his name, and Ted Turner and all the others screaming and talking about depopulation. So it's a depopulation tool. It's a health, make you sick tool. It's a kill the oxygen tool. What happens when you kill oxygen? When humans are breathing less oxygen, we're less healthy. Less oxygen goes to your bone, your blood, your marrow, your brain, your thinking, everything. And so the other thing that these sick bastards believe is that if they decrease the amount of oxygen, now Merlin touched on this the other night, if they could decrease the amount of oxygen on the planet by 10 down to 10%, which would be a lot, that it will allow Satan to come down and save them all from the certain fate of Trump and what's coming. You know, this whole, they've been caught, it's coming down, and they're all going to hang. They think if they can burn the planet and destroy oxygen, they think if they can chemtrail it, destroy oxygen, they think they can keep us sick and short-lived, they'll get the oxygen. Remember Greece? They put it on fire. Turned out 78 people were under arrest, and they were told that they were paid to go light all those fires. Remember, like 8 months ago, a year ago in Greece? And then all the United States, Hawaii, California, and Acapulco. And I mean, and so anyway, they're trying to eat up the oxygen and lower the content. Why? All right, so this is the most far-fetched, is that Satan will come down and save them all, tell the rest of us to save them, which is stupid because Satan betrays everybody and will just eat them too. And they say, all right, so that's what they think is going to happen. And then, of course, people like Merlin and a lot of people, and this was new to me, in the past few years, but say that the Archon, which are an alien meat-eating race. You asked me the other night, what are the aliens? What do they eat? Well, the tall whites and the Nordics all just eat what we eat. They can be sitting next to you, you never know. But the reptilians eat us, and the Archons was the other one that I couldn't think of. The Archons are a meat-eating race that can't live in oxygen contents too high. They're an alien race that travel from planet to planet, solar system to solar system, devouring everything in sight that's meat. And they'd love to come to Earth because of all the animals and, of course, all the humans. But they would devour the planet, completely destroy the planet. Every living thing, anything with blood or meat would be gone. So that's what people say is really going to happen. But the satanics think, no. If we get rid of the oxygen, Satan can come down and save us. We'll rule the planet, take over everything, and everybody have to do what we say.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't shoot the messenger here. I don't want the I don't want the I don't want people thinking I'm crazy. I'm just saying that, look, here's what's being said. Why are they chemtrailing? Here's A, B, C, and D. Strawberry, chocolate, vanilla. You decide. I don't know why. But the one that's consistent is the kill the oxygen story. And that's the one that everything they're doing does that over and over and over again. So kill the oxygen, shorten the life, drive the medical industry, and help depopulate all one big poof, one big push, one big evil, sinister plan called chemtrailing. Geoengineeringwatch.org. What an eye-opener.
Repeat that.
Geoengineering, GEO, engineeringwatch.org.
Okay. We'll have to go check that out.
Oh, man, it's a badass website, and they're really well done, and tons of pictures. You don't have to read a damn thing. Just flip through the pictures and prepare to be amazed. And, a lot of people say, oh, did you see the sky at night? It was all red. That's lithium, folks. In the old days, they said red sky at night, sailor's delight. Well, that's true. But that's out at sea, and that's the old days. When you see that in your neighborhood, 100 miles from the coastline, that's not a sea event. That's lithium in the air left over. And people are like, look at the sunset. The sky is just orange. Well, normally in the past, the sky orange was refraction off of dirt and moisture particles in the air. But nowadays, when you see super red sky, people are like, wow, that was amazing. That's lithium.
Could possibly be other particles from the chemtrails as well?
Absolutely.
Okay, because I know when I've seen them, sometimes you can look up in the chemtrail and you can see the rainbow colors from the chemicals.
Yeah, yeah, that's the aluminum. When
Yeah,
you see that rainbow, you're seeing moisture and refraction off of metal, metallic refraction and moisture in the air.
yeah, that's a serious issue. So, I was reading earlier today somewhere, who knows where, that the next false flag by you know who will be the alien invasion.
Yeah,
What does that mean?
Operation Bluebeam is a fake alien invasion where they actually get some rogue fractions of the military or CIA to take some military equipment, and they project holograms of aliens, alien spaceships in the air, shooting beams down on the ground, and then of course behind the holograms they intend to actually have jets and helicopters blowing up some actual domestic USA soil by our own people to make those holograms of aliens attacking us actually look real. But it's us blasting down from be up above the clouds or whatever. We'll be hiding somewhere and be the ones blowing up the ground and trying to say, look, it's an alien invasion. The idea is to get all of mankind to unite behind a one world government to fight these aliens, when in fact they're just really sophisticated holograms and munitions planted on the ground. Or what I've been told is that they'll be up behind the clouds or up behind the holograms with actual helicopters, military, satellites, whatever, and trash in the ground with ordnance or rods of God, or I don't know what they have in mind, but Operation Bluebeam is fake alien invasion. Unite behind a one world government.
Could be DEWs, directed energy weapons.
Oh yeah, directed energy weapons, rods of God. I'm sure they will do a lot of blasting of our own ground, like go waste a city here and there and blow up this and that to really make it look like we're under attack. And of
Right.
course, the news will puff it all up, and the news, the anchors will do what they're all told. They're all blackmailed, one form or another, blackmailed, threatened,
Oh yeah.
scared to death for one reason or another.
Programming.
Yeah, or hey, we're gonna kill your whole family, or we're gonna whatever.
Right. Or they could say, "Hey, we're under attack," and all of a sudden, bloop, screen goes fuzzy.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, we lost our connection at the headquarters.
I'd like to send anybody that's really, really upset with me. Let me give you an address. My ex-wife might be mad when you go to her house, but
Right.
go over there.
So, Operation Bluebeam, this hologram technology, is this something that you've seen before in action, or something that you've been informed about by
Yeah,
somebody?
oh yeah, tens of thousands of people have seen it. A couple of years ago, they flew a ship maybe miles wide over Mexico, and tens of thousands of people saw it, and people rolled cameras and videos, and gosh, it was just like 5,000 feet above the earth, miles wide, and it slowly project across the entire country, and news cameras and video cameras and still cameras, and tens of thousands of people saw it and would swear that it was real. So they've been testing the technology for a long time. Down in Central and South America, they've had some real alien invasions. Real alien invasions where they have uh, these holograms, and they project these 8 foot, 9 foot tall aliens, and they're floating 4 or 5 feet off the ground with these what appear to be like a hoverboard under each foot, like a big shoe under each foot. The natives down there are like fighting it and screaming for military and help. We're under attack, and I mean they're shooting weapons at it, and they're being shot back at by some gorillas in the jungle. So they think
Right.
they're being shot back at by these holograms. So they've been practicing with the holograms for a long time, and yeah, you'll swear they're the real deal. I mean, tens of thousands of people reported this all across Mexico, and seeing this. The ship didn't just go it moved at 5 miles an hour so everybody could have a really good long look at it.
Take some good video footage.
They did. I've seen it.
Wow. So when they do this alien invasion, of course, they can manipulate the skies with whatever they want with the hologram technology. So what about here on the ground? What is that going to look like? Or some type of aliens going to come from underneath in the hollow earth and the caves and the oceans and lakes? And
Well, like I said, they have down in South America these 8-9 foot aliens that are walking on these big shoes that appear to be some sort of a hoverboard and hold them 4 or 5 feet off the ground. So they appear to be floating, and they're like militant type aliens that are attacking us when in fact they discovered that there were gorillas in the jungle back there shooting at the poor villagers that thought they were being invaded. It was practice.
okay, yeah. And that's gorillas, not gorillas.
I'm tired.
Some silverbacks.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to make sure people understand. Jeff's crazy. He said gorillas were shooting at aliens.
Jeff's tired.
I can just see that
last night and really early this morning.
Hey, it can happen, people mishear things all the time. I'm guilty of it. So, wow. When do you think they're going to try to pull this thing off? Do you have any
I don't
kind of
know.
what?
I don't know. I just don't know, but soon they're down to the desperate throes. They're out of money all over the planet. That's some other things the three letters were telling me, that they're getting to a point where there'd be war already all over the place, but they're out of money.
Who told you this?
There'd be a whole lot of protests in the news right now, over political events, but they're out of money. They had 75,000 Antifa guys ready to riot if something major happened, but they're kind of scratching for money right now. I mean, you have some very big people selling off and auctioning off a lot of their assets. You got to ask yourself why. Not just any assets, like personal car collections of used cars. I mean, that's a passion. You don't just sell that off. You're in trouble when you're a rich guy and you're all the way down to your personal car collection of your favorites that you spent years acquiring and then getting into perfect condition. That's a passion. You don't just sell that. You sell that when you're in deep shit.
Yeah, like I know there's a bunch of them out there that got, like one of 300 and, all numbers matching, classic, totally original paint, original bumper sticker, bumper, everything. Everything's original.
They get crazy.
Yeah, and then they're selling those off. That's nuts. So is that going to be a new trend as the market's going to be flooded with high-end value?
Yeah, there's a lot of high-end assets for sale out there right now. All cabal assets, because they the law that Trump passed, that if you're involved with kids and trafficking and human trafficking and like adrenochrome and organ harvesting and human they seize your assets. Well, gosh, that gave them it's open season on the cabal, because everything they do has got to do with pedophilia and trafficking of some sort, drugs, kids, blood, whatever, organs, and boom. So they've been just seizing all the money all over the planet, taking it and grabbing it, even from the Vatican. 562 plane load C-130s of gold been hauled out of the tunnels beneath the Vatican and returned to mostly the United States, but to the countries it was stolen from.
Right. So, man. Wow, you just connected some dots, because I've been wondering where these countries have been able to buy all these tons of gold every month. Where's that coming from? Because, now they're all buying it as much as they can.
Yeah, well, the new banking laws that are coming out to accommodate the gold standard that we're going back to are called Basel III requirements. Basel laws. Basel III has now converted to Basel IV, which is just a much more strict version of Basel III. But Basel III says that the banks and the country and anybody claiming to be the world reserve or a bank that's given loans has to have a certain amount of gold actually in the bank backing their play. They can't just have paper on the street, which is what we have now. They call it fiat currency or monopoly money, a lot of people call it, but it's worthless. There's nothing behind it. For a lot of years, I don't know if you remember, about 2 years ago, all these ships that started stacking up off the coast of LA, there was hundreds of them out there that refused to unload. The reason they refused to unload is because they weren't accepting the US dollar. So they brought all the goods to our shore and wouldn't unload. So the United States had to quick do some shuffling and come up with some international gold-backed tender. And I know they had to do it under the different administrations to keep doing international trade, because the longer we keep pushing our fiat currency, the more and more countries don't want it. And now you're at a point where they don't want the petrodollar. The U.S. fiat currency is a joke. The dollar's being sold off, replaced, made illegal all over the world. It's just a matter of time.
So you described a lot there in that statement. Trying to think of where to go with that, because you gave me so many different directions to lead with you. What's your
Basel III compliance is why you're seeing so much gold buying going on. These countries got to get their Fort Knox, whatever they call it. They have to get their gold reserves up to a Basel III compliant, or they can't play in the world game of gold-backed currency. And now there's Basel IV compliance, which is a ratcheted up version of Basel III, but it's still a compliance requirement for our gold backing. Gotta have real money on the street. Can't have monopoly paper. That's all.
And I know you don't have a financial background. You're not a securities broker, expert, or licensed security dealer, and this is not financial advice. So can you explain a little bit about the SWIFT system, the transfer over to the Basel III, if they are actually running parallel currently, why they would be if they still are, and what the evolution from Basel III to Basel IV would look like?
Evolution to Basel IV is just a more strict version of Basel III. I don't know what all the details are. I did it one time. I read it. I was like, oh, okay, it's a hyped up version of Basel III. It's just another incremental level of control or gold requirement to keep the funds in the bank from being monopoly money. Got to have a certain amount of gold. So anyway, just another level of rules for the new gold-backed system. The other part of your question was
the Basel III running parallel with SWIFT.
Oh, Swift. That's the one. Swift was as years ago. Swift was, let's say you go to do a wire at a bank, and it took 10 days, 2 weeks for the wire to go through. Well, with the new systems that are out today, the quantum financial system, the XRPs of the world, today it's a joke. It's automatic. They push the button. It's like a light switch. Boom! It's at your bank. There's no more waiting. So, but in the old days, it was fast too. But they wanted to play with your money. So, in the Swift system of the old days, they told you that's how long it took. Well, it didn't. But they wanted to play with your money. It was an Illuminati control. So they got to hold your money and keep it as long as they could. You see a lot of places do that. That you'll get your deposit back. The 12th of never at the end of the month, and they're playing with your money. That's all. Swift is on its way out. It's been used for so long. It's so big that it's not going to just chop off like this. But you're seeing the quantum system move in, XRP move in. You're seeing blockchain technology, which is the security system which of the future for voting and banking, and anything else. Hopefully, medical and drivers to keep all that information safe. But it's it's a changing world, and I think you're going to see Swift go away, but not that quick. It's been here too long. It's too well rooted. They're still using it. It's getting faster. It's not out the window, but I think as the quantum system kicks in and XRP grows, everything becomes quantum, and on the Starlight satellite system, I think you're going to see. Swift fold completely one day. But it's so big; it takes a while to transition all that stuff.
Hang on, I got a call.
What'd you say? How's my hair? I don't know if we're on the air live. Yes, we are. Hey, say your prayers, brush your teeth. All right.
And we were talking about the Swift system and the Basel 3 system, as well as up to Basel 4. And thank you for that, for what knowledge you do have as not being a securities expert. And with that, we're going to close out the show. Jeff, would you like to have a last word with the audience before we go?
Oh, I always like to say something positive. Let's see. How about something political? Here we go. Winston Churchill, one of my favorite. If you're not a liberal at 20, you have no heart. If you're not a conservative at 40, you have no brain. I love it.
Wow. Okay.
Well, Geoengineeringwatch.org. Geoengineeringwatch.org.
Yep. There you go, folks.
All you ever want to know. Make your own decision. Just look at that, man. It's incredible.
Right. Absolutely. On the chemtrails.
All right, everybody. Save the planet. There's how you can do it. Go look at that.
Absolutely. All right, Jeff. Thank you, sir. We'll see you next time. You have a good weekend.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. And there you go, folks. Jeff Rahm, the asset manager for the Rodriguez Trust and aerospace engineer, pilot. Wait till you hear the stories about his youth when his dad was the co-founder of Hearst Shifters. And if you know anything about Hearst did deals with Oldsmobile. They did deals with Carroll Shelby. They did deals with Hertz Rental Car. And back in the 60s, they were gigantic until B&M shifters came out. So until then, the Hearst shifter was also in factory vehicles, as I have mentioned, and available as an aftermarket product. So you can imagine having a shifter that every race car in the country wanted or had. And Jeff's father was that guy. He was the co-founder. So he was treated like royalty. And guess who's tagging along on all this stuff as a child? Jeff. The evolution of NASCAR. Jeff was there. You guys are going to be so blown away by his story. He was telling it to me, and I'm just like, damn, wow. And that's what I mean. We're going to meet some really remarkable people that have some unbelievable lives. And they're storytellers. And we're going to hear their story, and hopefully you'll learn some more information. And I want to thank Jeff for coming on the show, sacrificing his time to share with you his intelligence, his wisdom, and his information. So thank you for being here. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell, leave a comment below. I am the Fearless Floyd Show across every social media platform. The Fearless Floyd Show at yahoo.com is my email. Go find me over there. If you need to create a trust, if you need to be taught how to create a trust, operate a trust, go over to the fearlessfloydshow.com store, pick up a book, pick up a class, pick up some combos. Got all kind of neat stuff in there. If you need a consultation with somebody like Jeff and LeFlore, Dr. Lisa, myself, Jesse, or anybody else that you see as a guest on my show, hit me up over there. Email me, text me, call me. Just don't call me before 9 a.m. Central Time, my only rule. And we're all good. So again, thank you for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I'll see you on the next video. I have no idea what's coming up, but I can tell you next Friday on August 26th, or I'm sorry, August 30th, I will have Dr. Kia Ebeling, past life regressionist, clinical hypnotherapist. I doubt we'll do a live past life regression on that particular show, but it will be a great venue to give you an introduction again, or a reintroduction to Dr. Kia. I look forward to having her back on the show with her information, her experience, her wealth, her personality, her charm, and of course, her beauty. So look forward to that. That is the 26th, Friday, August. Stay tuned. Look for that. I've got to go, folks. Again, thank you for